Alright, afternoon. We're going to remove the front bar from a Kia Picanto GT. This is a JA from 2021 facelift model. So work also for the S and GT line specs as well. Before we start, obviously jack your car up, put it on latch stands, make sure it's safe to do so. Tools, 10mm socket, trim clip tool, very useful to have. And either an 8mm socket or a Phillips head screwdriver for the two screws that are in the front arches. So going through what we've got to remove. So we've got 4 bolts up here we need to take away. There's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Inside each wheel arch there's 2 trim clips. So we've got one down here. Pop that one off. And then we've also got one up in here we want to remove as well. So pop that one off. Like so. Additionally, up in this bit by the body seam, the join line, there's a 8mm hex head, which has also got the Phillips. That actually comes in from the front of the car, so you want to use the socket coming in like here, and that's the way to get that out. That's in both wheel arches. Now underneath, on the front, dive down. So underneath here we have 2 more trim clips underneath on each side, in front of each front arch, front wheels, and then there's 7 10mm sockets. You've got one up in here, one here, one at the centre of the back, one here, another one here, and then there's another 2. Whoop, excuse the camera. One up in here. There's a trim clip in the middle of the car, and then there's another one here. So we need to take all of those off, and then there's a little wiggle and pull trick to get the front off. So I'm going to pause this and get those bolts undone, and then we'll come back to get the rest of the bar off in a second. Okay, so we're back. That's all the bolts off. As you'll see now, the bottom trim panel here, I actually like to, you can leave it in place and just undo the 3 bolts at the back, but I just like to take it off just for ease, convenience, get it out of the way. What we need to do, and I will just get this set up, is effectively you want to pull just on the front arch to get the clip out from memory, like so. Mine's a little bit loose, has been done a few times on this car, so just you want to pop that off there. Same on the other arch on this side. Pop that out and that'll come forward, and then effectively you can lift the whole bar off in one go. Now with the GT, I suggest leaning it over, hooking the fog lights onto the bottom bar, so you can then take the fog plugs off and be able to remove. So you need to remove those 2. I'm just standing here with it resting on my knee, leaning on there. Pop that off, and then it is removed, like so. Simple, really. Come back in a minute and we'll put it back on. Now, for those wondering, I was actually taking the bar off today to fit the Boomba blow-off valve, which is now fitted in here. Has a couple of shims to hold it up in properly. It opens up. This actually also comes with a blanking point for the air intake there, so that doesn't recirculate into the system anymore. This spec of Picanto has a fully electronic blow-off valve, so this is really the only way to get any tishy noises and tushy noises. So we're going to, now we've got that on, might give it a quick turn the engine on and see what it sounds like. Alright, so the engine's running, give it a go. There we go. Easy. So we'll put the duct back in. Eagle-eyed of you might have spotted something with this intake on this car. Keep an eye on that, it'll be out soon. And then we'll put this front bar back on. So as just mentioned, this is the slightly different over the stock intake, designed to be a bit more of a cold air entrance through the front bumper. This is just a prototype part, there's more coming, and a 3D model will be available for download. That's your standard unit, bolts on like that. Intention is to give a bit more cool airflow into the engine, and that's going to be part of a upgrade for a new intake system that I'm working on at the moment. So putting this back on, we just do the reverse of what we did before. So we'll pick the bar up like so, bring it in, hook it on the bar at the bottom with the fogs. For now, you can actually leave that for a bit anyway. Lift it up. You want to make sure that the bar goes over these plastic pins slots here and here. That's now effectively secure. Come around the side, give her a good strike. As ever, if that's a little tight, you can whack it in. Same on this side. Get it into place, give it a good whack. It's now in. I recommend putting the 4 top bolts on first. So again, just a 10mm socket. Gets those in like so. That then just stops the bumper falling off if you're having a problem. And we go from there, and then just the reverse of what we did before. 7 bolts underneath, 1 bolt / screw, and 2 trim clips in each wheel arch, and then 5 trim clips, 1 in the centre and then 2 on the sides underneath. So we will quickly roll through and bolt that on. It's a relatively simple and easy process to put back on. Really shouldn't be too much of a fear for anybody who's wanting to remove this. Additionally, these are the 4 bolts that are recommended to be removed when you want to attack the headlights. Let's take these 4 off and undo this one and undo this one, and then you can slide the whole unit out. A little bit more tricky. Again, there's some plastic clips and so on to pop out, but can be done, and that's the easiest way to change a bulb on this car. If anybody's interested, happy to run through, do another video on that at some point. So that's the first 4. Go underneath, do the rest, do the side arches, and then we'll drop the car down on the ground and she's done. So I hope this has been useful for everybody. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Okay, forgot to do one thing. So before we put the bottom panel on, you want to put your plugs back on for your fog lights. So you can see here's the plug, up in here, get the hand in, up to there is your fog plug. Relatively easy to get up in there and do it with it off. So you want to do that before we put the under tray back on. It's easier, I find, to do it now than trying to balance before. And again, for the other side, up in here, move it around, get that up in there. Oops, just fell out. It's a little bit fiddly, but you can see it goes in there like so. Wait for the click, she's in, and that is now everything. Yeah, it's not. So while I'm under here, I might as well show what everything finishes up. So you've got the 2 trim clips to go under. Sorry, I'm not left-handed. Goes in there, and then this one goes in here. So that's 2 trim clips. Let's pick exactly the same on this side. So again, try and get the camera so people can see what I'm doing. Up in here. One more. Under there. Okay, and then we're just attaching the second tray. Now, that just comes in like so. I recommend putting the final trim clip in first, which is this one in the middle. So this hole here, you'll notice this hole because there's no screw thread coming through. So that in place, these then hang down and you can bolt them in place. Just hold it up. Trying to do this one-handed is not so easy. But open that up and then do the same on the other side. And then you've just got the rest of the positions to put in place. And everything is back together. So again, on this little plastic tray, everything bar this one central one here is about. Going backwards. See all the positions as we go. It's really up to you how you put these back in. I just do them in the way I'm doing it, just because I'm lying on the floor in my garage doing this one-handed. Get everything in. There we go. Start up. So we've got one in. That's the one I missed. So it's a relatively easy process to get back on. Literally just well, obviously the reverse of taking it off, but really shouldn't be something that people are worried about doing. As long as you've got the right tools, it's really simple to do, and gives a lot more access to the front of the car, especially if you're fitting something like the Blue Spark unit, which I do have. It's possible to do it without taking the bar off, but a lot easier to do it if you take it off. There we are, done. We are fully attached back to the car. Cheers.